Not having an address to call your own or your home, it's one of those things that it's almost like not having a name.
When people are experiencing homelessness, they feel invisible. They feel like nobody sees them, nobody hears them, and nobody can feel their pain.
It's like life hit the brakes, and now I was relying on unemployment.
We're serving 2,000 families a year, and they're making life work on some really low incomes, and they're juggling.
It's challenging when someone comes here and we do an intake and there's no address to put on that intake form. And for those families who are without home, without a safe place to go, it may be their car. But it's important that we help them find and secure a place that they can identify and call their home, just like we would call them by their first name. It's critical.
Affordable housing is so important because when a family can afford housing or they can afford the apartment that they live in, they are able to be stable. Housing is the foundation, a basic human need. And if you don't have housing, you are not able to keep a job. Children will not be able to do well in school, and it affects one's physical health, mental health. Basically, it's the foundation, and it's one of the basic human needs.
When we went to IOCP, somebody there, I can't remember who it was, they told us, you can use our food shelf. It's not just for people that definitely need it. They said, but if you use our food shelf, helps you to save a little bit of money on your bills, on your expenses.
People come to our food shelf often because of a sudden change in their life. That's a job loss, that's kind of a recent health crisis, that's kind of a change in their living situation. But we also have many people who come to our food shelf as just kind of part of to make their budgets work. This might be seniors on a fixed income or people living on disability.
The things that bring people to Interfaith are really layered. Right, so we certainly see the presenting needs, the reasons that people come through our doors the first time, and generally that is immediate and basic. So it is, I can't pay my rent, I've run out of grocery money for the month, my car broke down, I need to get to work to keep my job. Those kinds of immediate needs cause people to see us for the first time. But then there are also foundational barriers that almost kind of underlie those presenting needs. So unemployment, underemployment, wages, physical or mental health, safety issues, those kinds of larger struggles that almost cause the presenting need. And then there are structural factors. The current housing market, cost of housing, right? Cost of childcare, transportation, structural racism and bias, isolation.
Our current minimum wage in the state of Minnesota is $10.08 per hour, and we've found that for a living wage in Hennepin County, that needs to be $23.19 an hour per person in a household. So for a family of 2 adults and 2 children, those 2 adults each need to be earning $23.19 an hour. And that's a great gap between our minimum wage and our living wage.
IOCP has with the employment services, they've allowed me, a little bit of training on computer knowledge so that I can figure out what I'm doing with a computer. I know the basics, but there was like a refresher, and I'm trying to supplement my income with a little home-based business where I can interpret, I can translate as well.
I think the Sleep Out is an amazing example of this community coming together and taking care of one another. It's the collective passion in action in this community. And that's one of the reasons why I've been so excited and looking forward to this time, because people come together.
The financial goal of this year's Sleep Out campaign is $3 million. It is the biggest goal we've ever had. in the history of this organization. It also matches the growing need we are seeing around homelessness and access or lack of access to affordable housing. You know, Interfaith Outreach is especially positioned to help solve some of these challenges that are so affecting members of our community. Interfaith Outreach is the organization to do it because I believe we can do this. And we're not going to stop until we do.
You know, IOCP has been a godsend, directly a godsend. There's a human feeling there. There's a sentiment, there's a warmth. And for the people that continue to help Interfaith, you're doing something wonderful.